change my mic. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? That good? All right. Is there an echo? It should be good now. We're good? All right, man. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I don't live stream in case you couldn't tell. But let's get this back on the rails here. So as I was saying, thank you to everyone for joining. Just a little bit of house cleaning up front. This is a live stream that I'm doing for the AliExpress. As you can see in the title of this video, their anniversary sale. So they do a lot of sales throughout the year. And me as an ambassador or partner, they asked if I would like to do a live stream and feature a lot of products. So first, thank you to AliExpress. They sent me a lot of watches for me to showcase with you guys. But these coupons and discounts are going to help you if you have something in mind. And I have some pinned up at the comments already, but I'll share some other comments too. Some are exclusive to a few products that I'll show you here today, a couple watches, and some you can use for whatever you want. So again, thanks for your patience. Make sure you like this video, that helps other people see it, and drop comments below if you have any questions. Share any thoughts that you may have along the way. I really appreciate the engagement and welcome everyone. So now that we got that chaos out of the way, I probably should have done like a little dry run, so that's my bad. Let's go ahead and get into the first watch. Now, this one is, I'm going to share my screen here. Also, welcome everyone joining in. Appreciate y'all being here. Okay. So this one here, check this out. And I'm using a second phone to show you these watches. So this is the Ferrasuit. Now, the reference number on this one is the Ferrasuit, I believe it's 5506B-1. And I love this purple dial. Also, real quick, I'm going to come back here and say there's a delay from the streaming software I'm using to your comments. So if you drop a comment, don't think I'm ignoring you. It just takes a little bit of time for me to see it pop up, and then I'll respond, of course. All right, back to the watch. So this is a homage of the Ming, and I don't know the Ming reference number, but I will say this: Ferrasuit is one of those brands that I've seen them do homages of some really nice independent watchmakers, and this is a great example of that. So you can see how thin this case is, and I opted for the purple dial. I think the purple color on here looks absolutely fantastic, and the lume on here too. Check this out. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. I'll increase the brightness a little bit, but the lume is part of what really sold me on wanting to check out this watch. Quick, sorry, I need to adjust this. I think for some reason it keeps turning the volume up. So there's no seconds hand, no running seconds hand on this watch. It's very clean, classy, and it is a mechanical hand wind. So this movement, the finishing on this movement is really good. And that's one thing that I really like about the Ferrasuit brand. When they do their watches, they use some really nice movement options. What is it? You aren't immediately paying attention to us. No, I am. It's just a delay, so maybe not immediate, but not too far off, Axe. So I appreciate that comment. You guys, I got thick skin, so throw the shade all you want. We're good. But let me go over to, I'm going to share my screen real quick because I want to see if this will work. There we go. See if this will pop up. Okay, can you guys see that screen? Just drop me a comment if you can see. I want to make sure that everything's showing up there. Yeah, that's a good comment. As far as the purple color, but no seconds hand, I think that's something you guys are gonna have me cracking up on these comments y'all are sharing. So as you can see the price here, the anniversary sale price already is at 288.56. And so that's cheaper than when I got it. They do have a brown dial. So if you want something that's a little more of that earth tone, compare it up with, I think the purple's a little more eclectic. So brown or even the gray option is probably going to be a safer bet. But if you want something that's going to stand out, and I feel like this watch with that guilloche dial pattern that it has, purple is the one that really sets it apart from the others. But the cool thing is, not only can you use those discounts that are included in my pinned comment, but I'm going to show you this one here. So this coupon is exclusive to this watch. So Ferrasuit, the brand itself, is working with AliExpress to showcase that you can save an extra $20 by using this code. Now, my understanding is this code may only work during this sale. So a lot of the codes that you'll see, like for example, in the comments, and I'll have it in the description of this video after the live has ended, but these codes are going to be limited. So if this is a watch that you're thinking of pulling the trigger on, I would not wait too long because it may not work after the stream, after tonight. Some of the other coupon codes are good during the spring sale. And let me pop back over here. Yeah. So some of these codes that I'm sharing with you, and again, I'll have them in the comments and in the description after the stream has ended, but they will work until March I think it's the 25th. Let me double check on that. Yeah, so March 25th, all of my Schwartz related codes that have my name in it, those are good until the 26th. The other codes, those are going to be good until March the 31st. And so the savings will vary a bit, but I'm going to pop over. I'm going to include these. These are my Schwartz comments. So these are the ones that are going to be good until the 25th. And for some reason, it did not. Yeah, I think it's going to. Let me know if you can see those codes there. Should be good. Okay. And so you'll see the $2 amounts. So the dollar amount on the left-hand side, that's for the amount that you spend. And then the number to the right is how much you'll save off of that. And they won't stack, but as you spend more, if you're going to get multiple watches, for example, then the higher priced code or the higher price will get you the larger savings. So not a bad way. If some of these watches are on your radar, you can save a bit of coin there. But let me pop back over to our screen share because I wanted to show you the specs on this watch. So again, 316L stainless steel. It is only 50 meters water resistant. So again, this is a dress watch. This isn't something that you're going to be that you're going to take diving. It's meant to be that dressier. Let's put it over here. Oops, hang on. Give me a second, guys. There we go. So it's meant to be worn as a dress piece. But again, that case finishing is really, really nice. Nice and thin. The crown on this watch is actually really cool too. One thing you just want to be mindful of when you are hand winding a mechanical watch, it's not an automatic, is you will reach a point. This is an 80-hour power reserve. You'll reach a point where you can no longer wind the movement. And if you happen to keep winding that movement, it will break. So the rule of thumb is always just, wind it couple rotations at a time. It'll take a good amount of winds from completely used out. And then it's such a terrible, I don't know why I said that. From zero power reserve. And then it gets a little tight at the end. And so you just want to stop. Don't break your watch. But just something to be mindful of with these hand wind mechanical watches. Check out that lumen. This is a really good one. Okay, so let me know your thoughts on the Ferrasuit. What do you think? Drop me a comment. So I have a question as far as the movement. So it's based off of the Hangzhou movement. I don't know the reference number for the movement, but It's, yes, it doesn't even say here in the description, but it is a Hangzhou, so Chinese movement, 80-hour power reserve. It is a high beat movement, so 4 hertz, 28,800 vibrations per hour. The only downside I would say is that it doesn't have a seconds, like a running seconds hand. But if you hold this up to your ear, you can hear that higher beat like ticking. It's really cool, really fancy watch. And I think for under $300 before any discounts, fantastic deal. Okay, so let's move on to our next watch. You pop back over to me. So that is the Ferrasuit, and my desk here is a mess, so forgive me, guys. The next one is the Agelocer moonphase. Check out this green color. I'm going to pop it over to our watches here. Boom. Okay, this is such a cool watch. One, let me get those hands out of the way. This is a moonphase watch, and it's an actual 29. Hang on, let me pull up the website. I want to make sure that I give you all the right info. So I'm going to pop this here. Okay, there's the link. If you guys want to check it out or visit the website with me, I'm going to also go to that website. Sweet. Okay, so this is the reference number 645. I'm sorry, 6415A5. Crazy reference number there. But that green textured dial is absolutely stunning. And the 29.5-day moon phase complication, boom, check that out. So you'll actually see every day, 24 hours, that movement will click over. So you have a true moon phase complication. This one is all show, super fancy. I love not only the color, but that the moon is loomed as well. Now the loom on this isn't super strong, but it doesn't like last for hours and hours, but it does glow, especially if you're coming like out of the sun, into a darker room or area. You'll definitely see it glow. But the detail work on that moon, I wish I had a macro lens here to show you because I've done a review on this, and that was another thing. Let me pop back over here. There was another thing I forgot to mention is all of the watches that I've reviewed, I will also link in the description of this video once it's completed. My understanding is with live streams, there's like a little bit of a buffer period before it uploads completely to YouTube. So in that time frame, that's where I'll include all of the videos that I've done on these watches. And I put a macro lens and you can see all the detail work on that moon. It's really, really nice. And I want to say it's also platinum plated, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pop back over here. Someone was asking for a link on the Ferrasuit 5506B1. Yes, there is. Give me 1 second. I will share that with you now. Okay, so I just went ahead and threw that link in the, let me go back here. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so I threw that link in there for you. But going back to the Agelocer, so again, you have a true moon phase complication here. This is also a automatic with an 80-hour power reserve. Check out the finishing on this watch. This is also absolutely stunning. The work that they put into this movement just looks great. You will hear the rotor movement a little bit when it's on wrist, or you'll feel it, I should say. But I love this orange color here under the strap. It just feels premium. You can also get the bracelet version of this. In fact, I'll show you here. Boom. Check that out. So there's different color versions, and they also do have bracelet versions on the website. But to me, the green is the one to get. When I first saw this watch get released, I knew I had to check it out. It just caught my eye. Again, no running seconds hand, but it's fully automatic, so you won't have to worry about the issue with hand winding the watch. And so you have different colors if you want something a little more, not as loud or bold. But to me, I think, and again, under $600, the quality of this watch is really, really stunning. I was super impressed with this piece when I first got it in the metal. And so for me, like I probably wore this thing for a couple weeks. This stole a lot of wrist time from the other watches in my collection. And I think what's really cool about this, Agelocer is a brand, but also a lot of these watches that I'll show you here tonight is a testament to the quality that what these brands are doing for sub $1,000 is mind blowing. Even some of these watches you're going to see that are under 200, 300, $400 are just stunning. And so the discount codes help. The spring sale already is dropping that price. So this was much cheaper than what it initially was. But with the discount codes, you can see here, there's one already on the website. But go back in the chat and you'll see the other codes where you can save. I think this one you'll end up saving like over $70. Yeah. So those codes that are good through the 25th, you'll save another $70 off on the price of this one. I think the value is just great. Let me pop back over here. It is a dressier piece. It's a little bit thicker because it's an automatic. I want to say it's still under like 12, maybe 12 and a half millimeters tops. I think it's 10 and a half, 11. We'll find out on the specs here in a second. But look at the quality of that finishing. It is, let me show you on the wrist. This leather strap has almost like a suede or micro suede texture to it, which is very elegant. How it wears on the wrist. But the coolest thing, of course, is the moonphase. I mean, that's got to be the best part. Let's see. We got a question here. Are we going to see any Chronos? So Chronos is a brand. Let me pop back over here so I can talk to the camera. Chronos is a brand that is on my list for 2026. I'm going to really try and get actually a couple of their watches in for review. And I'm hoping that will be sooner than later, like within the next month or two. The way it works, chronographs. Okay, that was my mistake. There's a brand called Chronos, so chronographs, yes. In fact, I have three chronographs on my desk here, which we'll be getting into. But in fact, we can. I'll take that as a hint to move on to the next watch. But yeah, Agelocer is a brand I've reviewed a few different pieces of, and they'll keep putting out more watches, and hopefully I'll be lucky enough to keep reviewing them. Okay, so I was going to go back over here and just show you the specs real quick. There we go. Yeah, I forgot to mention sapphire crystal, and it is the automatic 80-hour power reserve. You can see there. I should have this specs. Yeah, 10.6 millimeters thin, so much thinner than I remember. That's great to see. Okay, so let me set that aside. That's the Agelocer moonphase, in case you forgot. The green, great option. Okay, now next up, check this out. So this is the Seagull Polaris, and this is their Dune dial. The funny thing about this watch is they had some really cool dial colors. There was a red it was almost like a fume effect around the chapter ring. And they also had a light blue. So I was kind of torn between like which option to get, but I went for this one. Let me go ahead and I'll show you over here. Yeah. So this one does have a running seconds hand. And the cool thing is it is an automatic sapphire glass crystal. So all the specs are there, but it also has that running seconds hand at 6 o'clock with the red tip. Kind of like looks like an old like nautical, kind of like a compass look to it. And in fact, let me move the handset out of the way. There you go. Let me just give it a quick wipe. In fact, while we're on the subject, when it comes to keeping your watches looking their best, I highly recommend chamois. So these are like the chamois that you would use to dry your car off with. You can order these online in like sheets, and I just cut them down to like a nice size. But they do a really good job of buffing out any fingerprints, making the watch look nice and shiny, and it's not going to scratch or to cause any micro marring. As long as you keep these clean, you know, you can hand wash them, keep these clean, and they'll keep your watches looking great. So that's just a pro tip for you. Okay, so I'm gonna set this down real quick because I need to pull up actually that looks terrible. I need to pull up the website. Okay. I appreciate y'all's patience too. So one thing when you lose the ability to do editing, sweet. Okay. Now, this is an actual Seagull movement, and I do have it on the bracelet, but check out these other colors I was talking about. Look at this red one. Again, sub $200, actually less than 150. And the movement, so someone had asked about the Seagull movement. It's actually different from, I know most people know about the Seagull ST19 or ST 20, it's 1901. This one is a different movement. It doesn't give me the reference number, but it is one of the Seagull automatic movements. So it's going to run at 3 hertz, which is 21,600 vibrations per hour. You are getting 50 meters of water resistance with this watch. So it's not a diver, but to me, it leans more of a kind of a sportier, dressier piece. And it is only 10 millimeters thick or thin. But these are the colors I was mentioning. So it looks like they're out of stock of the red one. But they also had this blue. It's like a Tiffany blue color. And I went with the dune or the yellow dial. They also have a gray one. But these were the three that I was just really torn between. You'll see a little bit of a price difference between those as well. So depending on the color that you're looking for, sometimes the price will vary a bit. That's pretty common with a lot of watches on AliExpress. But yeah, the movement on there is really nice. Hey, what's up, Eve? So yeah, thanks everyone if you're joining in. I really appreciate you stopping in. But the as far as loom, I remember reviewing this watch, and the loom on it is okay. It's not, it's not a diver, so it's not going to stay loomed the entire time. And there's no loom on the running seconds hand. I do wish there was. Um, oh yeah, and Eve said, "Nice hat." Hey, thanks. Represent. So this is Bayer, California-based watch company, showing them some love tonight on the live stream. And in fact, let's take a quick second. I'm curious, what do you have on your wrist? Let me know in the comments below what watch you're rocking on the wrist. I always love to do wristwatch checks, so let me know. Drop me comments. All right, so going back to the here. So let's say, so we're looking at 144. So in those pinned comments, that discount, you can definitely save like an extra $17 using my Schwartz discounts up until the 25th. And I also pinned, let me go back over here. So one thing I forgot to mention is I pinned in the comments of this video, and it should still be pinned up there, but there's a link to there's like a Dropbox file that I made or had made with all of the links, all the coupon codes, everything will be in there. So you can reference that as well throughout the stream or after the stream. Cause I know it's a lot of codes, a lot of links that I'm throwing at you guys. So just something to be mindful of. Let's see. So comments, Eve says, "I'm wearing an Apple Watch." Just woke up. The Apple Watch is the alarm and sleep monitoring. I have a friend, a colleague of mine who wears the Whoop. And so I guess it's a little different from the Apple Watch because it doesn't have a screen, but I think it does like sleep tracking and blood pressure and all these like really cool things. And as I'm getting up in age, I should probably consider wearing one of those because I mean I have two wrists, so I can always put the Whoop or an Apple Watch on one wrist and then a nice watch on the other wrist. But thanks for sharing, Eve. Cool. And then so that's the Seagull Polaris. Really cool watch. different from a lot, and that textured dial is different from a lot of other timepieces out there. You can actually see that, hopefully you see that with the light shifting. So let me get that out of the way. And let's move over to a chronograph, because I know I got a question about if there were going to be any chronographs in this review, and there absolutely is going to be. So give me 1 second. Just keep popping. I need like an editor. I need someone who can just do all this for me. Okay. Gift from the wife. The Christmas, actually. This is the 22 Juan International Seagull 1963 chronograph. This is a hand-wound mechanical chronograph watch. Let me pop over here so you can see it. It has this really beautiful champagne dial. And of course, you can see the blued hands and also the red seconds hand. This is running at 3 hertz. So hand wind, I want to say it's like a 38 to 42 hour power reserve. Again, with mechanical watches, be very careful. You don't want to overwind it. But this brand, if you're not familiar with it, it's using the old Venus tooling from Switzerland. So it's essentially Swiss machinery that they had shipped over to mainland China, and they use it to make these movements. And this is the ST19. Now, one thing you want to be careful of, because there is what they call the Tianjin watch factory. So the Tianjin watch factory is the true Seagull factory making that movement. They also made a series of a lower jeweled mechanical chronograph, which is the ST19. It's different from the ST1901. And one way to tell is those other movements, which they do sell to different brands, it's going to say on the dial 21 Juan, which I believe means 21 joules. The ST1901 movement from the Tianjin factory will say 22 Juan. And also this here, the Chinese characters, that I believe translates to the actual Tianjin watch factory. So a couple telltale ways to know. In fact, I'm going to, let me set that down real quick. I'm going to pull up that link and I'll drop it in the comments, because this one does have a special code. So here is the link. So someone just asked, how can you buy this? I just dropped the link. So you can find this, click that link that I just dropped in the comments. And I'm going to also share with you the code. So let's go over here. Boom. Let's paste our link. Here we go. So the Seagull 1963 International. It is a little bit smaller, but before we get into that, let me show you the coupon code. Here we go. Now, Seagull did provide the code will work for 2 different dollar amounts. So if you spend less and you hit that $200 amount, you'll get the $15 off. If you, let's say you're buying multiple watches and you exceed the 500 limit, then you'll get that $40 discount. So this is only for the Seagull International Edition. This code will not work with any of the other watches or anything else on the AliExpress site. So just something to be mindful of. If this was the watch that caught your eye and this is the one you want to pick up, then definitely use that specific code. If you're watching this as a replay and the code no longer works, then you can still use the Schwartz codes or the other codes that I have in the description, and those will still work on any watches on the AliExpress site, but only up until those dates, either March 25th or March 31st, depending on which code it is. But let me pop back over. No loom. And this one has, I want to say, in fact, I can find out right now. I'm going to pull up the info. Yeah, it's only 30 meters water resistance. And it is, that's interesting. Check this out. I'm going to share this with you guys. Okay, so it's a little weird. I looked up the dial diameter, says 35 to 39. So I think they had like different options. This one I believe is 38. Oh, that's the dial. Okay, I was wondering like the case. I'm like, wait, how does it range? But I guess it varies. Yeah, so this one is, let's pop back over here. I actually have my calipers with me. Yeah, so it's like a 37 millimeter dial or case. But I just love the colors. And the cool thing is it is a running chronograph. So you have up to a 30-minute counter on the right subdial. That's your 3 o'clock subdial. Running seconds hand is at the 9 o'clock subdial. And of course, when you start it, there's just something about a mechanical chronograph, that tactile feel when you start and stop. That running seconds hand is just so nice. It's so satisfying. So you click it there, resets, flies right back to 12. Yeah, this is a stunner. And that movement just gorgeous. Getting in, if you have a loop or a macro lens, when you look at all of the finishing detail work that's on that movement, it's just really, really beautiful. So definitely check out those coupon codes. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Let me go back here. This is a 18 millimeter strap. So if you're going to get multiple straps for this watch, make sure that you buy 18 millimeter size, because a 20 millimeter, which is a little more common, will not fit on this watch. All right, let me set that one down. Okay, let's go over to the Cison. Okay, I just dropped a review on this watch, and it is a titanium watch. Really caught my eye. Now, the last time when I was doing that review, they were out of stock. And when I checked the website today, it looked like they were back in stock, but not as a pre-order. Like you could actually pick one up. So let me go to, I'm going to set this down here real quick. And then I'm going to pull up that link. So give me 1 second. They call it the TI7 Autodyne. Okay, bear with me. I'm just chugging along some. Oh, it is still a pre-order. Okay. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen here for you. Let me drop the link. It's not an affiliate link. I didn't have time to make affiliate links on all of these watches, but that is the link if you want to follow along with me. But check out the price. Under 100, man, I want to say this thing was like $130 just a few days ago. So that sale up until the 26th really does help. And the coupon codes, I want to say you can save an extra, what's that, like $17 off this price using my Schwartz coupon codes. So it looks like these are going to be pre-ordered up until early April. When you see this little fire logo on the watches, that means that's like the hot item. That's the one that's got the hype. Everyone wants the blue. And I can kind of see that because it's summer, spring, summer coming up. That blue dial is really stunning with the pops of yellow. I went for the white dial though, because to me, I feel like that white dial just looks really cool. The pop of orange. And again, I have the full review on this. So this is an homage, well, it's kind of like a mashup between a Serica style dial with a Formex field shaped case. Look at that thing. And the loom is really cool. It's actually 3 different colors of loom. So you have this light yellowish green on the outer indices. You have your standard green on the hour markers, and then like a blue that's used on the handset. The loom doesn't last forever, just, for about an hour or so. But I think that the design on this is just so cool. It's different. It's titanium. It's under like 60 grams, super lightweight. And the fact that you also have this double stitched strap, it's stiff, kind of feels robust, but it's actually kind of fun to get into that break-in period with the strap. It's like formed to my actual wrist size. And this is using the Miyota 8215 movement. So it does have a ghost date wheel, but there's no date display or date window on the dial. So if you're looking for a watch with a date, this won't be it. But if you're looking for something clean, modern, very different, this one's definitely it. Let's see, someone put a comment. I like the all gray TI7, and it's like a double homage. Exactly. Yeah, it's like a mashup of two really cool brands. So I think they were smart in choosing the Formex Field case with the Serica dial. And the only thing, again, you guys tell me in the comments, is the branding on the side of the case an issue for you? Like for me, it's not. I mean, I have a 50 fathoms, and I guess maybe just that's conditioned me to be used to it, so I don't even notice it anymore. But let me know what you guys think as far as when you see branding on the case. Yeah, this is the first edition. Does that make it more rare? Hang on. So I did mention this in the review, but I wonder if that makes it like first edition with a misspelling. Like you know how when they release, I don't know, like currency and there's a mistake, the value goes up on it. I wonder if that's the same with watches. If so, I'm keeping this forever until the price goes through the roof, and then I'll flip it. But we'll see. Let me know if that's something you could see happening or not. But yeah, to answer your question, watches and whatever, this is the first edition with the misspelling on the case back. I have a feeling that they will correct that in the next batch. But this is a great watch. And so let me go back over here to share the screen. And for under now, basically just slightly over $100, that's a great deal for a titanium watch with an automatic movement. It's really, really good. Okay, let me switch back. We'll go on to the next watch. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Cison instead of Cadison. You know, we got to give these brands a pass. It's all in good fun. Okay, now this is going to be again switching back to a chronograph. This is my avatar watch in my review that I did. I said it was like something Aang would be wearing, but it's actually more of like a boomy watch. It's something that the Earth Nation would rock on their wrist. So this is absolutely stunning. Let me switch over here. Check this bad boy out. So this is the 1963, again, another Seagull watch, but this is the 1963 Windchaser or Wind Chasing version. There's no Warren Bossing. Hey, I love the quote. Yeah. The layout you're going to notice is the same as the other ST 1901 because it is using the same movement. However, the finishing on this watch, the quality of it is on a different level. So we have cathedral style hands. If you like the Seagull Alpinist, I'll pop back over here. If you like the Seagull Alpinist with the cathedral hands and that kind of layout, this is definitely one to consider that's different. It's something from, it's a little more unique, I feel like, and it's not as common. This is a watch that I had not seen any reviews online for. So I was really, really happy to get this in the metal. The polishing on it is great. It actually has a sapphire glass crystal, so they've upgraded the crystal to sapphire. You can again see that movement there. Just gorgeous. Also, this strap, this leather strap is so good on the wrist. It's buttery smooth. It has a like micro suede feel to it. Let's see if I can reset this. Boom. Here you go. I just love the feel of that mechanical chronograph. So I'm going to switch over here. Let me paste the link in the comments for you. And I'm getting some cool comments here. Let me pop back over there. So I just dropped the link for the wind chasing watch, and I'm going to go visit it as well. There we go. They have 3 different colors. So there's a cream, there's a black dial, but I think the green is the one to get. Okay, so let me get to these comments because I don't want to keep you guys, I don't want to leave y'all hanging. All right, so we have someone, Oscar put, I like the branding on the side of the case. Okay, right on. That's good. And then, do you think the current geopolitical situation will cause increasing on price? I really hope not. I mean, watches are one of those things that it's a luxury item in 2026, but I really couldn't say. I have no idea what kind of impact there will be. I do know that AliExpress has gotten really good about having US-based warehouses where they actually have a lot of inventory in stock here, so you don't have to worry about as much shipping and waits or any delays. But yeah, that's a good question. I'm not really sure on that. Let's see. Yep. Love the Alpinist. So you went for the blue Mil Fortec with the tan leather strap. That's a brand I haven't reviewed yet. So Mil Fortec is one that I'll have to look into because I know that there's so many watches that I want to review. My eyes are bigger than my bank account. But hey, these discount codes will help. So yeah, there we go. And then off-white hands compared to the numerals. Okay, so let me go back to the it could just be the camera, so it does have off-white or cream colored handset, but the dial or the numerals are the same. So there's no difference in color. It might just be appearing that way on camera, but they do match up and they are loomed as well. So hopefully you can see that popping up there. Now, because this is a pilot watch, it's not, I think it's only 30 or 50 meters water resistance. Yeah, 30-meter water resistance. So this is not meant to go into the water. So it's not going to have like a diver level of loom on it. But you can see it in the dark. It'll last about, I think, an hour or so before it starts to fade a bit. But let me show you now, the price on this watch is way cheaper than when um, I first reviewed this. I want to say it was over almost like $700, maybe more. But you can see there's some coupon codes here, but I'm going to show you this coupon code. So because of the price of this watch, you're already going to get that max $40 off discount. So this is the code here. Definitely, if you're thinking of picking this one up, I wouldn't wait too long because after the sale drops, this price on this is going to shoot back up. But this is something that's different. It's a little more unique. And again, this coupon code you're seeing here on screen is only valid for the Seagull Chasing Wind model. Let me pop back over. Boom. There we go. Yeah, and when I was looking at the watches, like the cream colored one, I know the green is definitely the nicer in my opinion, but I the cream one, I feel like it's a lot of the same color. So the black one, I have a lot of black dial watches. So for me personally, the green was the way to go. All right. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate the words of encouragement there. Um, but we got the Seagull 1963 wind chasing, the Ang watch or the Boomy watch. Let me know what you think again in the comments below. And yeah, let's move on to our next one. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so I'm going to show the Boderry. Now, this is a watch I haven't reviewed yet, but I love the bronze colored dial here. So I'm going to drop this. There we go. All right. I just put the link for this watch. There's a lot of heft. I don't have my scale with me up here in my studio, but there's a nice noticeable heft and weight to this watch. Now, this is that diver style. And so I'll flip back over here to the camera, and then hopefully you can see that maroon honeycomb dial. Kind of has like Seamaster-esque styled handset, but you got date wheel at 3 o'clock. Let's just click that over so we don't mess up this movement. This is an automatic, beautiful bronze case. Kind of has that slab style case to it. Nice 120 click unidirectional bezel. And look at the loom. So the entire dial, not only your indice at 12 o'clock on the bezel, but the entire honeycomb pattern on that dial looms up. It just is so cool. So check that out. And then I'm going to, let me go over to the AliExpress website. Boom. A lot of color options with a bracelet, without a bracelet. It'll come with the strap too. So let me know. We'll kind of go through these, but under $200 is a steal for this watch. Let me know which color combo is your personal favorite. I mean, all of these are really good. They're like, man, super eye-catching. Hang on, let me pop back over here. Maybe this is just me getting older, but like I find myself really getting into rose gold colored watches and two-tone stuff. Maybe it's just a phase, but let me know like what you think as far as the color options that you see. Obviously, these are going to be like PVD coated as far as the gold tone or the rose gold tones. But like this one here, something about that blue and gold just looks really, really good. But I'm biased because we have the wine colored dial here. Specifications, let's go, and I'm going to show you here. So 200-meter water resistance, the movement. Ooh, I don't know. I forgot to write down what movement this is. It's definitely a 3 hertz movement. I don't know if it is a, let's see. Yeah, man, I can't tell. If anyone knows what movement, like if I get any of my watch peeps that are here in the stream, if you know what movement is being used in the Boderry, also is it Boderry or Boderry? Hmm, something we can debate. Yeah, I'm not sure. If I had to guess, it's probably an NH35 movement. I can tell that it is a 3 hertz movement, so it's beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. But if I had to guess, I'm gonna say Seiko NH34 or 35A. That's my guess. I'll confirm in the description later. But yeah, let me get another loom shot. Check that out. In fact, I'm gonna post my discount codes again just in the chat. These are going to be good through the 25th. This is for the anniversary sale. Boom. There we go. So yeah, if we look at the price going back here, under 200, so you'd save 30 bucks on top of the already discounted price for this watch, which again for the feel, just the quality of what I'm feeling here in the metal is outstanding. Okay, so sorry, let me switch back there. Let me move this one out of the way. Okay, now moving on to, if you saw my other live stream, hang on, let me pop back over here. If you saw my other live stream, then you would have seen 2 watches. This one I have yet to review. This is the newest version of the Sugess Panda. This is an automatic chronograph, absolutely stunning. Probably one of the nicest watches that I've gotten off of AliExpress, and the quality just blew me away. Um, when I saw it in the metal, it really checks all the boxes, and you can let me know what this is an homage of. First one to comment wins. So let me know if you know what this watch is playing homage to. But check this thing out. Now, I will say in the description for this watch, they say that it is 316L steel, but I've owned watches with, let me go back here. I owned a ball watch. I forget the model name. It's been a few years, but that watch was using 904L stainless steel. That's the steel made famous and popular by Rolex, of course. And so as soon as I saw this in the metal, I was like, there's no way this is 316. This has to be 904L. The the polish and the way that it looks is on a different level than your standard 316. Now I could be wrong. There's always a chance that maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but this thing is a spec monster. Now, obviously with the Rolex Daytona, let's see here. This is homaging the newest release. So when they changed I think it was 2024. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they have the steel around the ceramic bezel. So you're getting sapphire ceramic bezel. It does have an automatic chronograph, and I'm going to switch over. Give me one second to set that down. I need to pull up the link for you guys. Okay, here we go. This is probably one of the more expensive watches on the list, but for good reason, because it's kind of hard to beat. There we go. Yeah, so on sale, under 600 or just right over $600, you're going to see a couple different options. They do have some with the exhibition case back. I opted for the version. Hey, there it is, Daytona Panda. So I opted for the steel case version, or steel case back. It's using a peacock, and yeah, as far as I get the nod there in the comment 1-to-1. Like I'm following with you. I would agree there. It seems really, 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 really spot on. The cool thing is it has the screw down pushers, and I'm hoping this doesn't. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, so we'll start or stop, I should say, or reset that chronograph, and then down here at 6 o'clock is your running seconds hand. So if I can keep my hand still, even with the chronograph stopped, you'll see the seconds hand still going. Now, when you're running the chronograph, the main second hand, of course, will track in split seconds. You have your 30-minute counter over here at 3 o'clock subdial, and this is an actual 12-hour running chronograph. So the cool thing is vertical clutch column chronograph. So if you actually let this thing run, power reserve will keep it going, and it'll just keep going. So if you know, like popular, Seiko VK64 movements will run for an hour and then they'll stop. This thing will just keep on going. So you can technically keep that running seconds hand on the main handset just going nonstop until the power reserve runs out. But let me go back over here so you can see the different color options. So they do have the platinum homage that it's, homaging. There's the black dial reverse panda. You have your panda with the steel bezels. And then they have, of course, some other variants. On the bracelet is the way to go. I think, it just looks so good. One thing that I do appreciate is they did not put any wording above the 6 o'clock subdial. So they also didn't put any branding on the 12 o'clock. So they kept it clean, very modern. Comes in at 12.5 millimeters thin, and it is, where's the movement? Yeah, so this is using the Dangdong Peacock SL4801. Now, what that means, let me pop back over here. What that means is that this watch is automatic, not hand wind. It's running at 4 hertz, 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has, I want to say, a 50-ish power reserve. I could be wrong. I know it's more than 40, but I haven't reviewed this yet on my channel. This is the watch I've been waiting to review. But the bracelet, I mean, look at this thing. It's so good. It's definitely a fingerprint magnet, so be careful as far as you're gonna need that chamois to keep it polished all the time. It does have branding on the clasp, so you have to be okay with that. And then, of course, the Sugess S logo on the crown. Other than that, I think this is a great watch. Let me pull up the. Hey, what's going on? Trap Vision, what's up? Sorry, I'm catching up on the comments here. Yeah, and then I see it looks close to my Tiger Tudor Panda. Absolutely, and I want to say that the Tudor Panda is I forget the movement it's using. I can't remember if it's a Valjoux movement or if it's an Etta movement, but it's a great watch you got there, man. So enjoy that one. This one took a lot of wrist time from me. When I first got it, I was wearing it a lot. this is one of those homages of an unobtainium type of watch, but the feel of it on the wrist, super comfortable. It's just so good. And the fact that you can get it at a discount, I would say if this is something you're in the market for, let me look at my coupon codes real quick. So yeah, you're getting the max discount, $70 off this price. I mean, kind of a no-brainer for me. So definitely one that I wanted to share there. And then let me go back over here. Okay. Now the loom, I will say I forgot to mention that. So it does have a loomed dial, and the loom on it isn't the greatest. I mean, again, not a diver, so probably about an hour or so before it starts to fade. But it does have that bluish tone or colored loom. Cool. So let me set that one out of the way. Let's move over to this guy. There you go. This is the Ferrasuit. Now, I do want to mention the coupon code that I showed you earlier in the live stream. So the one that was for, where's it at? There we go. So the coupon code for this model, Ferrasuit, will not work for this model. So just something to be mindful of. If you're trying to use that other code from earlier, it's not going to work on this watch. But all of the other Schwartz codes that I have in the comments will work. And so you'll get an extra savings here. Let me pop back over to the camera here. But look at this. Now, I did a recent review on this watch, and it is homaging an independent Rex Sheppy, who is an independent watchmaker that just makes some absolutely stunning watches. I love this eggshell colored, and it has almost like a pearlescent effect to it. The dial color, they do also have a black dial version and a salmon dial version, but I liked the blued hands. I feel like the blue hands really gave some nice contrast with this one. Um, and another thing was the case shape and the crown um, were from another independent, and I'm drawing a blank right now, so forgive me. But this is a hand wind mechanical watch, so it is not an automatic. You'll have to manually wind it, but check out that movement. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, Ferrasuit is one of these brands that's just making fantastic watches, and the fact that they're willing to make homages of independent watch brands is something that I find really impressive. This one, again, hand winding, 80-hour power reserve, running at 4 hertz, 28,800 vibrations per hour. And yeah, I just saw the comment there, the Cartier style cabochon on the crown. Very elegant. The strap is buttery smooth, like zero break-in period. In fact, I'll put this one on the watch or on the wrist so you can see it. Check this out. I also love that color. There you go. But yeah, for any formal events, this is going to be one of my go-tos. It has a nice weight to it. It's just built really well. And the power reserve, you'll see go from red to white. I'm just going to fully wind that. Hopefully you can see that moving in the video. It's a little blurry on my side. And similar to the other Ferrasuit watch, you want to make sure you don't overwind this movement. You don't want to break it. So just something to be mindful of. But let me share the link. Because the price on this already dropped. It is now. I'm going to put this in the chat for you as well. Okay, so price on that one under $350, and here are the other colored versions that I had mentioned. You know, I was really torn between the white and the salmon dial, but I had recently picked up another watch that had a salmon dial. So for me, I'm like, and again, I have a lot of black dial watches, so going with the white version was the one for me. And then let's go to specs, under 11 millimeters thick. And this is the reference number 5318A. 50 meters water resistance. And this is also using that same movement that you saw on the other Ferrasuit watch. So this one's using the Hangzhou movement, 80-hour power reserve, high beat, great watch, sapphire crystal. It does have AR coating applied as well. For me, this wouldn't be an everyday watch because I wouldn't be able to wear it everywhere that I go. But for dressier occasions, that's definitely one that I can reach for. Sweet. Now, this was a watch that I just got in recently from Cison. Look at that dial. Man. You can see the brushing and some high polish on the beads of rice bracelet. So you get some nice, what am I trying to say? Like a play between the finishing levels. Nice beads of rice bracelet. This is a fully milled clasp, double safety pusher. But when I saw that dial, it leans towards almost like a Seiko, like Grand Seiko, that snowflake-esque dial, or even like a Seiko Presage. Kind of has that textured pattern to it. And you can see in this watch, it also has that AR coating that's been applied. I mean, hopefully in my studio lights, you can see the blue hue bouncing off of that sapphire crystal. The handset is a little harder to read, I would say, on this version. And you have a date window at 6 o'clock. But let me pull up the info here so you guys can see it, and I'll drop it in the. Oh, you know what? I didn't save that. Okay, hang on. Let's see. We can find it. It's a relatively new release too. I haven't seen a whole lot of reviews on it. This was the one watch I didn't have saved. I apologize, guys. I wonder if it's 2026. Oh, hey, there's our TI7. Well, what I'll do is on the replay, I'll go ahead and drop that the link. So my apologies, guys. I thought I had this one saved in my little text file, but apparently I did not. So this is one that I'll be reviewing. It does not have an exhibition case back, but it does have 100 meters of water resistance. And it also, I want to say this is using the NH34 movement. I don't think it's using a Miyota movement, but this is a watch that I will review soon. So yes, let's see. We have a question here. Mother of pearl. So no, it's actually a silver dial. It's just the what you're probably seeing is the iridescent like tone is probably from the AR coating because it is a box dome sapphire glass crystal, but this is an all silver textured dial. It does have a screw down crown. So again, this is one that you could definitely probably pull this off as a Gata watch if you wanted just one to do it all, since it has the date and the water resistance. And there's a little bit of pop of color. Hopefully this will show up on camera. But right at the 12 o'clock, it's probably not going to show up, but right above that 12 o'clock hour marker, there's a little red 12, so a little pop of red. But yeah, so let me move this one out of the way. I'll put the link after the stream so you guys can check it out. Okay, so let me move over. Some of these I have in cases, so I'm gonna have to open them up for you. All right. This is 2089. Let me pull that up on my website. Boom. Okay, you guys are gonna love this one. So this is the Addiesdive, and the reference number is AD 2089. Let me grab the link here, and I'll drop it in the chat for you. Okay, let's see. So I have a comment here. Let me go back to the comments. Cison have made so many Miyota 9015 driven watches for buttons. It's crazy. Such a beautiful, smooth, accurate, and slim movement. Yeah, 100%. I don't know why more brands don't use the Miyota 9000 series movements. They're so good. And I mean, I've had some watches over the years with the Miyota series movements, and they've been great. I can kind of get like, because I don't get the rotor issue or noise as much with the 9000 series like you do with the 8000 series. But for the prices of what they're putting out, and Cadison's one of these brands that has really impressed me. I remember first seeing some of their watches back in like 2020, 2021. And what they're putting out now in 2025, 2026 has blown me away. So I'd have to agree with you there for the prices. They're fantastic watches. Same with Addiesdive, which we'll get here. That's another brand that's come a long way. Look at this green dial. Now, this is a quartz watch, so this is definitely a good grab and go. Move the handset there. Yeah, this just like screams, like, I don't know why, but when I see this dial color and that sunburst, it reminds me of like a green apple Jolly Rancher. um, yeah, I know that's weird, but that's the color that I get. It's that very vibrant green color, and I just love with the suede strap. This watch was lent into me from a friend, so this is not my watch, but I do want to review it. And I love that they went for the quartz version. And when you look at the price, look at this thing, under $60 for a diver 200-meter water resistance, and it has some really cool color options. You can go for the steel bracelet version. You can go for your classic black dial. But this green, to me, this is the winner. And I want to say this is the version that he picked up. I think it had this rubber strap, but I love the suede. And there's an orange version, of course, on a bracelet, all under $60. So fantastic value for what you're getting here. These are 316L stainless steel. These using, so it doesn't look like it has sapphire. It's probably using mineral glass, but also quartz movement. However, let me go back here. Oops. Yeah. So, however, I think that the value for a quartz diver is great. And I have a question. Drop me a comment. What are your thoughts about putting a dive watch on leather? Because I've heard arguments both ways. Me personally, I think it looks great. And unless you're actually getting into the water or going swimming, I don't see any issue with using leather or suede on a diver style watch. Obviously, if I know I'm going to the coast or I'm going into a pool, I'll switch it to rubber or FKM rubber or put it back on the bracelet, something like that. But drop me a comment. I'm just curious what you think as far as divers on leather, yay or nay. Let me know. But yeah, so that's just an absolutely stunning watch. And then let me give you the loom shot. There you go. So you have loomed bezel, and this is a aluminum insert bezel. It looks like, it does not look like ceramic. Actually, I could be wrong. It might be ceramic. I'll have to ask my buddy. But fully loomed insert, great watch. All right, let me set that one aside, and let's move on to the next one. Sorry, I'm running out of space on my desk here. Boom. Okay. So this is the Watchdives. And as you can see, we got a speedy homage. This is the Watchdives W1863. Let me pull up the info here. Boom. Another Mecha Quartz watch. And this one is going to come in at under $135 on sale. Again, make sure you use my discount code because at that price, you'll save another $17 using my Schwartz codes. But look at all these different, you have the Tintin, you got the Snoopy homage, the version we have here, which is the steel. And then they also, some of these are out of stock. Got the Panda down here. Yeah, so a lot of different options for under, and yeah, that's going to be the most famous, of course, the actual Speedmaster homage. But we go to, boom, there we go. And I can see my buddy had swapped this out from the bracelet onto this leather strap. But yeah, using the VK64 Mecha Quartz movement, and the finishing on the handset is really nice. Like I'm looking at this in the studio light, like bouncing off of that. The finishing's good. You have your recessed um, sub-seconds hands on the chronograph. This is going to be a 24-hour counter here. Of course, you got your running seconds hand and then your chronograph counter. Look at the finishing on that. Definitely has the Omega style case. And you have brushing here with high polish. I mean, Watchdives is a brand that has also impressed me over the years because they've come a long way. And I like that they changed their logo and they've gone with like introducing it into their dials, and it just looks a little bit cleaner in my opinion. So I love the new look of the Watchdive stuff, the quality they've been putting out. I got rid of, and sometimes I regret, let me go back over here. So I did get rid of my Watchdives No Time to Die homage. That was the titanium case, and I even had the titanium bracelet. And sometimes I regret making that sale. I wish I had held on to it because every now and then I miss that titanium combo of the Omega, the Bond, No Time to Die homage. It was a great watch. But yeah, going back to this one, if you're a Speedy fan, this is one that's definitely going to scratch the itch for you. So something to, again, save a little bit more money on during the sale. Let me switch over here. Thanks for your patience, guys. Okay, so this was another watch that kind of got loaned to me, and it's a different, very unique, different styles. I was like, let me mention it because I'm sure this is gonna, grab someone's eye. But this is just kind of that has that tactical look to it, and this is a Pagani Design. Um, Pagani Design is one of those brands that, became really popular with the homage watches that they were releasing, and for the price of what you were paying. So let me show you how much this one's going for, because this one is, that's the Pagani. Some of these reference numbers are funny. There we go. So this one is the black PVD coated, under $90. Well, I got a pop-up telling me I'm having too many windows here. Under $90. Now, it doesn't look like this is getting any additional savings during the AliExpress sale. But again, use my coupon code so you can save a bit there. I think this one you'll probably save another $7 off the price. But check out this. Pop back over here. Man, 120 click unidirectional bezel, and the feel of this is great. Very sporty look. You can see, hopefully this is showing up on the camera, but it's almost like a skeletonized camo dial. And you can see the date wheel underneath some of those cutouts. Very interesting watch design for sure. This is using the Seiko NH34 movement, or NH35, and water resistant, yeah, 200 meter. So this is definitely a usable dive watch. And that strap, super textured. I've never seen a strap design like this. I'm actually glad that my buddy picked up this black PVD case version. I think it's pretty cool. Let me show you the lume here though. Now, Pagani Design, I feel like lume is always the area that, when you're saving money on the watch, that's where the lume isn't the greatest. But the designs are always on point. And I don't know what this is an homage of. So if you know which watch this is paying homage to, drop it in the comments. Let me see if it'll show here on the specifications. There we go. Yeah, it's a thick boy, 13.5 millimeters. Check that out. The cool thing is the lug to lug height. Let me get my calipers out of here. Yeah, so the lug to lug is only basically 41 millimeters. So this is going to wear good, even though it's thick, coming in at, yeah, sure enough, 13.5. So even though it sits a little chunky, it doesn't have a big lug to lug height. So as you'll see here on my wrist, and again, I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist. That was a little too snug. So look at how that wears. It's kind of reminiscent of like a Bell and Ross, like a B&R series watch. I would say that's probably what this is closest to, but I don't think Bell and Ross has any watches of this design that I'm aware of. So, but it wears as soon as I put it on the wrist, and I have a Bell and Ross, square cased watch, so I can tell you it's very similar to that experience when it's on the wrist. So let me know. I don't know, square watches, is that something you guys are a fan of? I'm always curious. Square watches, Bell and Ross as a brand. What are your thoughts? Drop me a comment below. But this one's really unique and definitely going to stand out compared to a lot of other watch designs out there. All right, moving along. 1 second. This is a watch that I reviewed a while back. It's going to look like the JLC Polaris. There you go. This is the Berny. Reference number is AM439M. Unmistakable design with that blue and orange color combo. This is like a compression style diver. So the crown here at 1 o'clock, or between 1 and 2 o'clock, I guess you'd say, rotates. So it's an inner rotating bezel. And this is really cool because you can set your dive bezel where you want and then actually screw that crown down, and that bezel's not going anywhere. So when you're diving, if you dive, obviously even with a rotating bezel, you pull out that other Boderry. So like this technically could get bumped out of position even though it's unidirectional. So something like this is going to prevent that from happening. Let me wipe this down so you can see it a little bit better. The integrated strap is also super clean. Just comes straight down your wrist. So when you have this on wrist, let's see here. It's actually a really long strap too. So if you have like over an 8-inch wrist, this watch will actually wear pretty well. There we go. It is an automatic. And I'll pull all the specs up for you here in just a second. Let me set that down. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, and then just to share, so yeah, I'm getting some comments. Yeah, almost Bell and Ross-esque. Totally agree. And then got CE Garza saying, I like the color combo. Well, if you like that color combo, you might actually like some of these other options because this is the one that I have here. So again, blue and orange complementary colors always look good together. Looks like that one and the black and orange are the two hype colorways. You also have this. Wow, that actually looks really cool too. The cream dial. Kind of get a couple different. I feel like legibility on this one's really good. Then you have your green, of course, and then the difference between the bracelet versions versus the strap versions. Now, this is part of the AliExpress Anniversary Sale. But look at that difference, 15 bucks to go from bracelet to strap, I think is a great value. In fact, with the, and I think the movement on here is probably a Seiko. Let's find out. Oh, it's a Miyota. So 8215 movement. All right, cool. So that's part of what's keeping that cost down. And interesting thing is, I'm not getting a lot of rotor noise from this particular 8215 movement. It's pretty quiet. And that's something I noticed with like Miyota movements. They're always kind of hit or miss. Like not all of them are going to be strong and or they're not going to be loud. But date wheel at 3 o'clock, 42-hour power reserve, and this one is beating at 3 hertz. I really like that orange second hand too. It gives it that nice pop of color there. Nice. Not too chunky. Good use of brush finishing on the sides with that high polished steel bezel. Nice. So I will put the link for this one down in the comments as well. Yeah, Watches and Whatever says, I like that internal bezel. Yeah, it's a unique design, and it's really cool. I mean, function-wise, I don't think you're going to get a better bezel as far as making sure something's actually locked into place and not going to get bumped out of position. So I know for divers, you know, they use computers and everything now, but I love the look to it. All right, let me get that one out of the way there. And let's get this other. So this is another Addiesdive I'm going to show you here. Check this out. The color combo on this one. So this was loaned in as well. And I'm going to pull up the website. Okay, cool. So I don't believe this is the original strap that this watch came on. This was swapped out, but the dial, you can see there's AR coating that's applied. This is the Addiesdive AD2040. Let me throw the link for this one so you guys can check it out. And they have some cool color options on this as well. All right. There's the link for that one. And then let me pop over. So here you can see there's a black and red version under 50 bucks. Now this is a quartz powered movement. So it's not an automatic, but a lot of options. And this is the one I came with the yellow FKM or the yellow strap in rubber. This is 200 meters water resistance. It's using a Miyota movement as well. So this is going to be running at 3 hertz, 21,600 vibrations per hour, 120 click unidirectional bezel. And, you know, it's kind of funny because I get that like Yachtmaster look of the bezel color there in black. And then you see the stainless steel, high polish on the sides of the case. Nice finishing for the price. Under 50 bucks is crazy for this watch. And Addiesdive, this is their old logo. As you can see there, with that second hand ticking away in yellow, just nice pop of color and Cyclops date wheel. So I don't know if that's a deal breaker for some people. So let me know in the comments. I know like when it comes to the Cyclops window or the date window, some people are a fan of it, some people not. So curious what you guys think. I like the Cyclops date wheel, but it's also never been like a deal breaker for me if it doesn't have a Cyclops. My vision's decent enough where I can still read the date without it being an issue. But yeah, this one is another great diver. If you're looking for a diver that's under 100, 150 bucks, going quartz is definitely a good way to save some money there. So I wanted to showcase like a lot of different options. And I hope that, you know, like I said, what you're seeing here on screen is just all the different types of watches that are on sale, but also that are available through AliExpress, different brands. And I haven't scratched the surface on all the brands that are out there. but I wanted to save this one here for next, which is a tourbillon. So this I did a review on not too long ago. Again, this is an Agelocer. I'm gonna switch over to our hands-on view. So this is an actual flying tourbillon watch. High beat movement, 28,800 vibrations per hour with an 80-hour power reserve. Now, the skeletonized dial is something that's really common with tourbillon watches, and this is no exception. I love the rose gold color, and part of the reason that, as you'll see in my review, part of the reason that I went with the rose gold option on this one is because I feel like that handset is just a little bit easier to read. When you look at the steel case versions, because you have steel colored, components on the movement, sometimes that handset can blend in a bit. They did a good job with making the black PVD coated movement or skeletonized movement, the bridges. But this is a hand wind, so it's nice and thin because you don't have any extra width from the like an automatic. If you had put an automatic rotor in there, would have made the case on this a little bit chunky. But I love the color with that pairing up. Brown with rose gold always looks good in my opinion, but I'll show you here on the wrist. I actually was wearing this quite a bit for like formal events. Not that I go to a lot of formal events, but anytime that I was getting dressed up, I was putting this on the wrist. And I did pick it up with the rose colored bracelet. But to me, and my wife said the same thing, the rose colored bracelet just gave it a little bit too much flash. And I wish you could hear the movement. This thing, when it's ticking away, you can actually hear it like in a quiet room. If it's nice and quiet around you, that thing is loud, which I like. I mean, normally, like you wouldn't want a really loud ticking watch. Kind of like it reminds me of like the old Timex watches that I used to have. And you'd have it on like your nightstand, and that thing would be ticking as you're trying to sleep, and it would kind of not sound great. This is a little different, maybe because it's a higher beat ticking movement and sound. It just super soothing, but I love it. Let me show you here real quick. I'm gonna pop back over to the website so you can see. No loom, just a nice dress watch. But let me go pull up the link here. And I thought I had it here. Give me 1 second, guys. Go flying tourbillon. All right, cool. So let me share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Boom. Yeah, so price point, I mean, tourbillon watches, as you may or may not know, can get really expensive. When you look at tourbillon watches from like luxury brands, they're usually in the like tens or multiple tens of thousands of dollars. So the fact that Agelocer was able to produce this one at under $1,000 is really impressive, especially the fact that it's an 80-hour power reserve. It is gold tone, so if that's something you're not a fan of, they do have a steel version as well, and they have it with the blued bridges. So if you want something with more contrast, that's definitely a good option to go with. They even have it in rose gold, but I felt like for me, the rose gold with the black and on the bracelet was the way to go. Now, of course, with my coupon codes, because this is a expensive timepiece, that's already going to get you that maximum $70 savings. But let me put the link for this one. So if you want to check it out, you guys can go scope this one out. All right, got watches and whatever. Put on a list of to buy, and then yeah, out of the price range. I mean, it's definitely one that it's up there. Um, but this is a good example of what I've mentioned in some of my other videos. Again, this is just showing that brands like Agelocer are able to create some really impressive watches for the price. The bang for buck or the value that you're getting, you're really not going to be able to find from a lot of brands. And I have seen some cheaper tourbillons, like reviews of other options that are very inexpensive, but the quality is not there. The movement is not the best, and then also the specs of that watch tend to be a little bit lacking. You have something like this, which is a sapphire sandwich, which means you have sapphire on the front, which is curved sapphire glass, and you have a flat sapphire exhibition case back. Um, Getting it on the bracelet and then swapping out to the strap afterwards is what I would always recommend, because you can always buy aftermarket straps. But the fact that you're getting that 80-hour power reserve is really impressive. And I remember when I did the review on this, the accuracy of this movement was nothing to scoff at either. So I think that, yeah, what's coming out of China with these watches is really impressive. Um, the movement, let me see if it shows. Yeah, so they call it their caliber A9001 movement. Um, I don't know what the base caliber is based off of. Like, I'm not sure if they're using a Hangzhou movement or if it's in house, but it is really impressive for a tourbillon under $800. And with the savings, you're looking at 700 with the bracelet. It's just really cool. So you can even have additional savings. I don't believe that my discount codes will stack. So that's something that I'm not sure if, I mean, you can try it. I don't think the codes that I provide will stack with the other codes on the website, but I mean, maximize your savings is all I can say if that's a watch that you're kind of looking into picking up. Super cool. So let me know like what you guys think so far of all of the watches that I've reviewed for you. I mean, which one's your favorite or which one stood out to you? I know that the price ranges, and again, this was my goal, was to just show you a variety of different options that you can take advantage of this sale, because everything from $50 all the way up to 800, there's something for everyone. So I'm curious, leave me a comment which one was your favorite. And then what I'm going to do now is actually show you what's on my wish list for 2026. And in fact, if there's watches that you want me to review, make sure you drop them down in the comments, because I can show that to AliExpress and some of these other brands and see if this is something that we can work on and collaborate, so I can bring more reviews on watches that you're actually interested in. Let me see, where do I go here? Okay, so we got so the green seagull, yeah. The moonphase watch was Eve's favorite. So you got CE Garza said Panda lookalike. Yeah, it's probably up there on my top three, both of those. Yeah, those are fantastic watches. Let me go to, okay, here we go. Let me show you my screen. All right. This is on my hunt, my list of watches that I want to review, and I'm really torn. This is the Militato ML20, which is obviously an homage of the Zen. Um, Man, I'm torn between the classic, you know, black with the red accents versus this blue. I don't know why, but something about that slate matte blue colored dial with the steel bezel is just really grabbing my attention. Um, the black PVD one, not so much, but man, this one here, either of these, I'm really loving. uh, I doubt they'll send me two, like one of each, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask. Something about that dial color, it's catching my eye. But that Militato is a brand I've heard. I know someone mentioned it earlier in the comments. That's another brand that I want to get my hands on for 2026. Um, Let me look at the specs on this watch, because man, that can't be right. 370 down to 171. That's a huge that's a huge discount. Um, and then with my coupon code, you'd save another $30. So we'd be able to get into this for like 140 and change. It's a great deal. Let me see what the specs are. Okay, 11, just over 11 mils thick. That's really good. Sapphire crystal, good. Does it have the movement? Oh, PT 5000. Yeah. So the PT 5000 movement is a clone of the ETA 2824. Um, that means that this watch is a high beat movement, 4 hertz, 28,800 vibrations per hour. One thing that was cool that I liked also was it was showing, see if I can do both of us here. There we go. Let's remove that one. Cool. Okay. So it was showing like this definitely catches my attention. Stainless steel with an anti-fingerprint protection. So if you know about the Zen watches, obviously they use a tegmented metal on their case and their bracelet. And I wonder if this is Militato's version of that. I'm curious how scratch proof that steel actually is. But the fact that they're using a PT 5000 movement for $170 is crazy. I really, really want to get this watch. And I know someone put the blue version. Yeah, blue one. I like it because it's not a direct homage. It's a little different. But then again, the black with the red is fire. That thing looks so good. Okay, that was one. So that's on my wish list for 2026. The other one here, check this out. You guys are gonna like this. You'll probably recognize it. I'm gonna drop it in the comments. But let's see here. Boom. Yeah, look at that. So this is an homage of a Glashute watch, and I wish they did have the green dial. This one's here, the blue. What I'm getting a little confused on though is there's like no branding, like it's just an absolute sterile dial. But look at those. Yeah, the what always catches my eye with this design is the Arabic numerals at 12, 3, 6, and 9. It just has that really, really unique look to it. Um, I want to say it's green dial. I want to say, yeah. See, this is the other one. So maybe I can get both. It'd be cool if I can get both and do them side by side. The fact that this is on sale too. So if you guys remember, if you're one of the OGs of my channel, then you know that the first watch I ever reviewed was the Rokos, which was an homage of the Nautilus 5711. And then I did an homage, a review on the Theiss, which was an AP Royal Oak homage. And so if you guys are part of the OG crew, then you know this brand. So this is the Theiss. But look at that green dial, man. I do wish, because kind of similar to this one, where'd he go? Hang on, stand by. Okay, here we go. So let me drop the link here so you can see both. And I'm just putting links because these aren't even affiliate links. These are just so you can go check these out. Let me see. Okay, so Watches and Whatever asked, have I done any reviews of the Parn? How do you say that? Parnspur? I have not. I've never heard of that brand before, but you've intrigued me, and we've got a little time left, so I'm gonna look it up. But let me go back to the Theiss here. Yeah. So I wish that the date wheel wasn't there. I would rather have had a ghost date position. And the reason being is I feel like it breaks up the symmetry of this dial. But for 250 bucks, that's a really decent price. Let me see. What are we using here? It doesn't say the movement. It's only 30 meters water resistance, which is, yeah, it's a dress watch. So, wow, only six millimeters. That's pretty impressive. Man, I wish it had the movement that they were using. So it says here, mechanical hand wind, but automatic. So which one is it? If I had to guess, knowing Theiss as a brand, it's probably an automatic. It's probably a Miyota movement. But yeah, let me know if this is one you'd want to see. I wish it just had this clean dial layout on that watch because you're going $165 to 250. That's a big jump. But definitely something I'm curious on. Also, let me look at what is this watch? Parn SRPE. How How would you guys pronounce that? Let me know in the comments. How would you say that? Let's go. Okay. Interesting. I've never seen these watches, and I don't think I've seen any of these reviewed on. Oh, that's like a Seiko Presage homage. That rhymes. Okay, cocktail time. Wow. I'm not a huge fan of the brand name or the font, but the dial colors. Yeah, look at the texture on that. Huh. Yeah, let me know in the comments if this is something you'd want to see a review on. See, we're using an NH35A date wheel. Be interesting to see what the finishing's like, but for $108, it's hard to beat. Let's see. Yeah. So I know I want to say I really appreciate y'all joining me for the live stream. Oh, Parnas. Yes, I am familiar with the brand Parnas. So Parnas, maybe they stopped making watches. I had a date. Wait, was it Panda? I want to say it was a Parnas Daytona Panda homage back in like 2020. And that watch was good. It was a Mecha Quartz VH or VK63, whatever, VH31 Mecha Quartz movement. I ended up selling that watch, but Parnas had some really good homages back in the day. So yeah, if this is the brand just changed name, then I would say this is probably going to be a decent watch for the money. But yeah, like I said, I really appreciate you guys joining me for the stream, hanging out for a bit. Leave me comments of what watches you want to see. In fact, let me pop back over here. Boom. Leave me comments of what watches you would like me to review in the future. I have no problem ordering plenty of these, with my own money just to see what they look like. AliExpress, I've been a partner with for a while, so they'll probably send me some as well. But definitely drop me comments because that's how I'll know what watches you want to see next. I really want to say thank you to everyone for being part of the Schwartz Force, checking out my live stream. Sorry about the technical difficulty we had like there early on with the audio issue. I'll make sure that's not a problem going forward. But I just want to say thanks again. If you are new to my channel or this popped up in your feed and you enjoyed seeing all of these watches and my take on it, please subscribe to my channel. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're going to buy anything during the AliExpress sale, please use my affiliate links. That helps grow my channel. So I appreciate that. And of course, use my coupon codes. I will have all of that in the description, in the pinned comment. Yeah. Thanks again. I hope you'll have a great night. Enjoy the sale. Take care.